Okay, cool. All right. As far as I know, this is recording, so this is just going to be another collaborative work period for leading members. And yeah, Ashley and I, we had spoken a little bit beforehand about some of the information related to her tiers for Patreon. And so again, for any of you like listening into the future, Patreon is something that I definitely encourage a lot of people to be able to utilize if you're really working on making conscious media creation one of your full-time forms of income. And so Patreon, again, most of you are obviously familiar with it, is a way where people can support with monthly contributions and get additional perks and rewards and basically like a monthly membership. So Ashley, just kind of reading over some of your stuff here. So right now you've got 6 tiers: $3, $7, $13, $33, $333, and $1,111, so $11. One thing that I've found from doing Patreon and things like that is that the way how obviously I have mine set up, it's like a $5 and then $11. I've usually found that having like the lower tiers is something that you may want to consider even removing, but at the same time, I think for your audience, it would be applicable if there are people who still just want to be able to like get the foot in the door. Since there is such a there's quite a bit of difference between like just like a $3 tier and a $5 tier. But basically, like with Patreon in the past, like I've kind of experimented having a few different tiers, and at one point I had like a $5 tier and a $10 and a $7 tier. So having them like so close together almost kind of defeats the purpose. If somebody's likely to sign up for a $5 tier, they're probably also likely to sign up for a $7 tier. But yeah, with your stuff as it is right now, like how do you feel just overall about like the way how you got your Patreon set up? Like let me know if there's particular things that you would want me to just kind of give any feedback on, or anything else that you just want to be able to get some more brainstorming done on.
Well, I was wondering if, see, in my $33 one, I thought this was a good idea, but I'm like, yeah, I just want your feedback on it. Like, one of the things I included was like a complimentary 30-minute coaching call. I didn't know how long it should be. I just put 30 minutes, and I thought that would be a good idea to kind of like translate it into one of the like greater tiers. But I didn't, just to give them like a taste to see if that'd be something they'd be more interested in and working directly one-on-one with me to invest in more. But I don't know. Oh, I'm just gonna have to decline this. Sorry, someone's calling. Yeah, so I didn't know if that was like a good idea, or if that what you thought about that basically.
Yeah, because basically like from the 33, your next one up is basically like the one-on-one monthly coaching. And so like part of the idea would be just to kind of like give them an opportunity to feel what that would feel like, and then hopefully that would give them a little bit more of an idea in terms of whether or not that'd be right for them. But it is only just like a one call opposed to like a monthly call, which is the difference between the 333 and the 33.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. I understand what you're doing there. I do think it makes sense. And I think having it at like the $33 level is still, you know, there's still a lot of value in that in itself. Because I mean, like literally if someone were to just do like a 30-minute call, depending on the coach, like that could be in itself, you know, like $50 or whatever.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. So I think it's good. I think obviously it just kind of comes down to something that you may want to adjust as you go. If you find that suddenly, you know, like you might find that like you might get a pleasant surprise and you got like a lot of people signed up.
Yeah.
And then if anything, you know, like it would just be like communicated that this is like an optional thing, because it might not be something that everyone wants. So just make sure that they're kind of like registering for it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, have you mentioned to people already that you're going to be doing some like monthly coaching and stuff like that? Have you already have people started asking you about that already?
I've kind of, not to the degree I like should have, but I know that this is just the direction I should be going, because like, again, I keep getting more messages all the times about like, you know, basically just inquiry of spiritual questions and what they should do, just
Yeah.
essentially like the definition of coaching, which is why I wanted to
Yeah.
include in the 13 having that be part of Discord and me answering kind of like their questions in that matter, to kind of just like gauge if you want this type of like, of course, like I do that now just on like Instagram and like
Yeah.
TikTok and stuff, but more in-depth
Yeah.
type of conversation around more specific questions, that they can have that in that Discord space.
Right, right. Okay, cool. Because yeah, because you're saying like at the $33 level, there would be possibly bi-weekly, so every other week, where people would kind of like submit questions ahead of time, and then you would do like a live where you're addressing those specific questions for the Patreon supporters. Is that correct?
Yeah, and that as well. And I think I have an yeah, for the 13, I wanted to like do that in written form within like the Discord chat
Right.
community, but then once it gets to the 33, yeah, do more like exclusive and interaction with specific questions through like something like this, like Zoom or whatever. But I didn't really know what would be, if with, should that be a weekly thing, a bi-weekly thing? I wasn't really exactly sure on the
Right, right. Yeah. And that might be something that you won't really know until you've kind of gotten familiar with even just like the tech setup, and you know, once you start getting the feedback from it. Now for the 13, the difference between the 13 and the 33, people can ask questions that you would respond to within the Discord, but the 13 doesn't get access to the video response of those, like the live video.
Yeah. It's just basically another level of like exclusivity plus just like further connection.
Okay, and so like people would be asking questions in a Discord server, but like that would be primarily with the intention that you would be the one answering that. Is that correct?
Yes, it basically essentially be like a group coaching call.
Right, opposed to having like an individual chat for every single person. Because that in itself, because yeah, because like I think you definitely have like a good audience growing. So I think kind of like one of the things which you're already doing is just kind of creating the container where it suddenly doesn't become overwhelming, and suddenly you've got like 50 different people that you're coaching at once. And
Yeah.
how do you manage that, you know? So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kind of reading over here again. So just starting at the 3, I Am Enough Yoga Nidra. Is that going to be a video? Is that what's that?
Which one did you say?
I Am Enough Yoga Nidra.
Oh, that's just gonna be like an audio file. So
okay, so like okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like a yeah.
Okay, cool. And then the Inner Child Guided Meditation, is that something you're already working on?
Yeah, all these things that I have in there are in the works already. So basically like
Okay.
yeah, like you get a few samples and then down, like I saw this idea on someone else's. I thought it was a really good idea to basically then have full access to like a library that's continuously updated
Right.
of guided meditations and yoga nidra.
Yeah, and you just kind of add to that as you go.
Yeah,
which is pretty valuable in itself. Yeah.
And then like, but on my website, have them also be sold. If you're not in the Patreon, have them also be sold like individually for like small amount.
Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering here if it might make more sense for you to almost like kind of combine the 3 and the 7 into a single tier. So maybe that would even just be like $6 or something like that. Or just keep it at 7 and totally just kind of like move all the 3 into the 7, because again, it's like, but at the same time, like you kind of want to feel it out with your audience, because I know some people are going to be on a different budget, and if literally $3 is what works for them, at least they still get their foot in the door. So I mean, there's no, whatever you do is fine. I think again, it's just kind of like being able to set things up in a way where, yeah, you're just kind of like inviting people to invest in themselves a little bit more. And so if that's like in the $7 range, yeah, okay. And then, so yeah, that would be access to the library. And then 15% ritual spell magic request. That would be like a personal thing with you. Is that?
Essentially, like I want to have it set up. It's going to be the same with requesting a yoga nidra or guided meditation, that basically so with yoga nidra the way it works is creating a script based around a specific intention. So you would have a specific intention, and then I would create that script and that audio file for you personally based on what you want. And then the same thing applies to a personal ritual. Like if there's something you specifically want to manifest or specifically want to spell around, like creating a ritual for that, creating like a meditation, perhaps like journal response or journal prompts for afterwards, and specific integration processes, and kind of just like, yeah.
Okay. And now I noticed on the 7, you have recorded live videos from other social media. So would that be like going live on like your Instagram and then you save those and then you would archive that? Do you, because I'm just wondering there, like in those situations, sometimes it makes more sense to just kind of keep that public, because then more people can find it. And then each of those basically becomes like an invite to the Patreon. You know, so like you're doing your whole thing, but then again, like each live that you're doing is a soft invite to be able to say like, hey, if you want to be able to connect further and then be able to access like other lives, that's where you can join the Patreon. So maybe I'm wondering if that might be something that you might want to adjust, where like your lives that you keep on Instagram just stay on Instagram, because that's going to be the invite back to the Patreon, opposed to people just missing it if they miss it live.
I also kind of saw it too, like not just like in the way of meaning pure exclusivity, just like having a space of an access point of just like the library, like you click one space and then here it all is, as opposed to having to go through every different social media and different spots and kind of having to search for everything.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense then. Yeah. So are you familiar with like even the process of saving your
of doing that?
Sorry?
Of actually doing that.
Of just, well, that's what I was saying, like specifically like the process of like downloading your Instagram lives, and then basically I would think just like upload them to a playlist on YouTube and just keep it as an unlisted playlist.
Unlisted playlist, okay.
That could be an option. Obviously, if people get that unlisted playlist, they could also access those. But again, since those aren't necessarily exclusive, it's more just the organization of them. That's not a huge deal. But yeah, I'll show you. There's a plugin that you can get for desktop that will make that a little bit easier. It's basically just called Instagram Downloader, and then once you're on Instagram on your desktop, you can download your lives really easily, and then from there you could just upload it to YouTube, opposed to just doing it through your phone. So I'll send you a link for that as well. And then so at the 13 level, so you want to be able to set up a Discord server then as well. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, because like the main thing of that is yes, connection, but also just kind of like, I want that, as opposed to my Instagram of what I'm just doing now, I want that to kind of be the space where I'm like typing out and like chatting for like spiritual questions and like responses and stuff. Because I write like essays back to people, and I'm happy to do it, but it can get a little exhausting.
Yeah, especially if you're answering the same question multiple times. And then that kind of just keeps it all compartmentalized. So and then with setting up a Discord, have you set up a Discord server yet?
No.
Not yet? Okay. All right. Yeah, that's some stuff I can help you out with, because like even within that, again, similar artists, you can have like the different roles. So then you could have like one that's just like just for you, and then one for new people who are joining in. And then what you may want to do, opposed to what we do, is literally just keep your Discord just like completely private for people. Because I think, again, like I think given the rate at which your TikTok is growing, I think having it as a public would just be too much of a, like too many people would just flow into it. So just keeping it for Patreon supporters, I think, would be fine.
Okay.
Okay, and then so monthly recorded energy healing goddess activations, those would be like additional things that you would just kind of add to the archive. Once a month you would record like a new affirmation, meditation, audio guidance thing.
Different, just keeping it loose, just like some type of special healing I could do each month.
Okay, cool. And those would be pre-recorded ahead of time, opposed to like a live broadcast or anything. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be pre-recorded.
Yeah, and then so for like your coaching calls and stuff like that, you'd be able to do that through Zoom. And then
Mhm.
like you could even just, again, the way how we're doing it here, where you just like record it and then upload it afterwards. So that'd be okay, opposed to having to like live broadcast it. And then for the voice coaching, yeah, did you download that Voxer app that I mentioned?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool. Does that look like it would work for what you need, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I downloaded a couple others just so I can see, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna to kind of trial run each one, see what might work best.
Okay, okay. And so for I'm just wondering here if there might be like a way for there to be a tier between the 300, between the 33 and the 333. Like if there
Okay.
might be something for like a 150 or something like that. Because I mean, like if you're doing like a one-on-one coaching, just like a regular 1 hour one-on-one coaching call with someone, do you know what you would
Mm-hmm.
charge for that?
It probably for 1 hour, it'd probably be like at least 200, I think.
At least 200. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, so they're paying for that plus all the other stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is also like the discount for the request for the magic spells and stuff like that. So
Yes.
yeah, yeah, which is a pretty good deal too. So okay, and then they get one-on-one 1 hour, and then so again, then at the 1,000, that's a 1 hour weekly coaching call. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, which again, I mean, I think that for the people who are ready to invest in themselves, that's still a really good deal,
Mm-hmm.
given your expertise and everything like that. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, no problem. Yeah, again, I think like with just kind of like going over with it, just so you're able to just like get the feedback. I think you're definitely on the right track. Um, like I said, you may just want to consider like maybe merging the 3 and the 7 into one.
Mm-hmm.
And it could even just be like you could just like set it up like you could literally just remove the 3 and just keep the 7 as the first one,
Okay.
as something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really up to you because again, I think you'll have a better feel for what you want to be able to provide to your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is a benefit of having the lower tier as well, just to be able to keep it accessible for the people who do want to support without fully um, having to pay at that level. So
Do you ever
yeah,
suggest, like, I've seen people basically at like even if something just like $1, having it as something where obviously super affordable, but just really the benefits to that just being like kind of like a thank you, like contribution for free content that you put out plus basically that plus exclusive videos for Patreon, just kind of having it be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think that's a good
yeah.
idea or no?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, especially if the difference is between like $1 and $3, I think if somebody's going to sign up for $1, they'll probably sign up for the $3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think keeping it at like a $3, if that's your lowest, I think that's okay. Because I used to have a $3, but then I kind of merged it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started it as $5 and $11. But again, it may be something where you can adjust it later down the road and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think you got a good setup as it is now. I mean, like how does it feel? Like, does it feel like it's going to be something you got some clarity on what your next steps are, at least for what you
Yeah.
got to do?
Like just getting like the initial things, like if someone were to sign up right now, like having all those things available and just kind of, I did go over and like, would I feel comfortable, I feel like I'm kind of max in, like, I have like the added guided meditations that will come monthly. And then I have um, the monthly rituals and then the monthly wellness tips and like healing activations. Like I think that's probably like my max. That's probably like 3 or 4 like monthly things that would be
Yeah.
offered to I believe like almost all tiers. So I think that's like a good like knowing boundary wise of
Yeah, yeah, because you'll be able to create like a routine around that for yourself.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and then obviously you'll still be just like managing other things like creating your regular content and doing lives on
Yeah.
TikTok and everything like that. Yeah. Yeah, and again, I think you're already developing a lot of really good relationships with your community. So I think it'll be like how do you like do you feel just kind of like comfortable being able to invite people to the Patreon, even though like you haven't done that yet? Like, do you kind of
Yeah,
yeah
yeah,
yeah
yeah.
yeah? Well, that's good though, because again, like I know for some people it's like again like
Taboo.
the big shift that I found is that instead of thinking it as like asking people to donate or something like that, it's more like you're like inviting them to be able to
Hmm.
take part in something and also to invest in themselves as well.
Yeah,
So I think when you're just communicating it that way, and again, that's where within your lives, just like reminding people of your expertise and why you're worth their time as well.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. I believe, and I do believe what I have is like, which I think is really important, is just believing what
yeah,
you have is like valuable content
totally.
that's worth that. And also, I feel grateful and lucky enough that I've had kind of enough people now reaching out to me saying thank you,
Yeah,
and like, so I feel the value within myself now that I can like actually help people in this manner. So
that's good. That's good. So just looking at like the things that you would need to do in order to be able to like get things like literally ready this week. Set up the Discord server.
mhm.
I presume you got like your PDFs already for your other stuff, like the how to connect with your body. Is that already done?
They're in the works. Yeah, all of them.
They're
They're
in the
not all
works.
finished, but they're,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and then
Hmm.
you probably got like a couple other things that you're still recording video wise, or do you got
Hmm.
most of that all?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, again, I think literally just like the Discord would probably just be like the final thing, and then once you've got that, you can start inviting people in. Now, have you set up like your Patreon profile yet? Have you done that?
Yeah, not extensively, but I created a profile, and then I just started brainstorming before I put anything
Yeah.
like up there. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, obviously, another thing that you might want to do is literally just record an introduction video
Yeah.
specifically for your Patreon. That would just be like a quick summary. You wouldn't literally have to list everything here, but just like even just like a 3-minute video, just again, inviting people to connect further.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, so again, I think just setting up the Discord and an intro video, setting up the Patreon, a few little graphics, updating your like within your profile on TikTok. Like the thing I've mentioned before for people is like using Linktree, which you've probably
Yeah.
heard of and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I got
Have,
that.
have
Yeah.
you started? Yeah, have you already set something up for that yet?
No, I know. Yeah, I know how to do that though. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and that's pretty straightforward. And then from there, it'll
Hmm.
just like include your links and link people to your YouTube or anything else that you want to be able to include in. So, yeah, no,
Hmm.
I'd say you're definitely in good shape. And then for your TikTok, are you literally still aiming for like one video per day? Is that kind of
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. That's, I think, like, I know I wanted to do that at least till like 50K, and like once I get there, kind of like reevaluate, do I need to
sure?
be doing it that consistently? I
Right,
feel like I
right.
need to be doing that right now because, and I'm still kind of bummed, like the algorithm lately, like just like the past week has like view wise has like not been like the greatest. So I'm just like gonna keep going and
I
keep
mean,
doing it
that's
every day. Yeah.
relative to what you saw a couple weeks ago, but still pretty good, all things considered, right?
Yeah, I know, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It's the same on my end too, where you have to like,
Mhm.
that's the way with TikTok. TikTok, you have to like constantly remind TikTok that your content is like
Hi.
worth putting out there, right? So
Hmm.
having the daily video actually does help with that, especially if you're, because again, like being able to like I think one of the most powerful things about TikTok is finding new audience and then jumping on your lives and then being
Okay.
able to connect with
Hmm.
them on your lives. So what I
Hmm.
would suggest is even creating like a little bit of a schedule for your lives.
Like a weekly.
Yeah, like a specific time, like Wednesdays at 9 p.m. or something like
Hmm.
that. Because that like I saw Megan. She's another creator. But she's like set up a schedule. She's got like 50,000 followers, and she set up like a big post ahead of time that went quite viral, and then I popped into her live, and she had over 2,000 people tuned into her live. It's
Damn.
pretty phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was like just like a little like meditation. It was kind of promoted as almost like a manifestation, law of attraction style broadcast. But yeah, I think creating a schedule for your lives would be really, really powerful for what you're doing. And you said last time you did your lives, there was what, like between like 30 and 50 people tuned in, give or take?
No, it was more like 25 was probably the.
Which is still good. And I think
yeah,
if you do have
this is my first one.
Yeah, and I think if you do have a schedule, I think that will just naturally increase over time. So yeah, and then like what about like doing other types of lives, like stuff like through
Instagram,
or even through like YouTube, or like special like full moon meditations or anything like that? I mean, we got our team meditation coming up. Right now I have, just on the side note, right now I have the time for that is Sunday at 9 p.m. EST.
Sunday.
Yeah, and if you're around for that, like I'm just getting a feel on who's going to be available for that. But yeah, let me know if that's something. But yeah, again, overall though, I think you're definitely moving in a good direction here. And yeah, I would say like, yeah, you got a lot to be happy about. So is there anything else that you feel like you need some like particular clarity or questions on that I might be able to help with?
I think this is a good stuff I got that I can move forward and further develop and stuff.
Yeah. And again, that's what I wanted to do, just kind of like affirm that you got clarity on the next steps, and just affirming that I think what you got is a pretty good model as well. And then we can, outside this call, I can help you set up the Discord as well for that. And if there's other like tech stuff that you need some questions answered about, you can do that. But yeah, I would say no problem. Thank you. Yeah, so I would say let's just keep in touch, and then let me know when you're ready to kind of take a look at the Discord or anything. And I would say, like, if anything, you could probably launch this like maybe the end of the week, if not early next week at the latest, I would say. And then you can even kind of like pump it up, like how you want to promote it is up to you. But I think at the same time, just even just doing like a soft release of it will also be good, because again, like what you don't want is suddenly like having like that huge influx of people.
And then being overwhelmed,
Yeah, you actually want to be able to, like, especially with the Discord, you actually want to be able to maybe just get, like a dozen people in first, and then just kind of start getting that space primed up for more people to be able to join so that they can get familiar with it. And then the other thing with the Discord server is setting your guidelines. So like spending time to like write out your community guidelines. That would be another thing to do. Okay. That's going to be really important.
I guess I just have one last question that popped in my mind in terms of like kind of moving what I've been doing and like answering questions and helping people on Instagram and moving that to Discord. Like, how do you navigate that? Because obviously I don't just want to like, I don't just want to like ignore messages and like be rude, or like, how do you set that boundary?
That's a good question. So those would only be available for the people at the $13 level. Is that correct? So I think if anything, I'm trying to think of that. I mean, I think in some ways you can just kind of like give them a short answer, but then just be like, hey, like, out of respect for my own time and energy, for people who want to be able to like work with me further, that option's available through the Patreon. Please feel free to check it out and let me know if you have any questions. So it's not even like saying like, it's like, sorry, I can't help you. It's more just kind of saying like, hey, I'd love to help you, and here's how you can help yourself. Let me know if you have any questions about the Patreon, and maybe we can do a call or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think again, even like having like the $33 level to get like a little bit of a call there is good too. Like, are you getting a lot of messages on Instagram as well as TikTok, like DMs?
Well, not DMs on TikTok because I have to like follow them.
Yeah.
But on Instagram, anyone can like, obviously anyone can DM me. So yeah, I definitely keep getting more and more questions there, and then I also take time, out of my day just to go through my comments and answer
Yeah.
questions on TikTok.
Yeah. And yeah, and again, I think like at some point there, you really just be able to you have to kind of be able to how like set your own like energetic boundaries, because like if you're just
Yeah.
going to keep getting popular and popular, like yeah, like how do you direct these messages and stuff like that. Yeah, so you almost want to be able to have like kind of like a copy paste reply, and that's not
Mm-hmm.
out of disrespect. I mean, if it is something that you feel you can answer within like a minute,
Yeah.
absolutely, because again, potentially every person that asks you could also be a lead for a potential Patreon, and not that you're just looking at them as a dollar sign, but
Mm-hmm.
it's about the relationship. So it's like, hey, if this person went out of my way to ask me something, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'll give a quick reply. And then if they want to be able to dive deeper, that option's there for them as well. So
Yeah, and if I
mm,
feel like it's too long of an answer, maybe on TikTok, then what I do is I just make it. If it's a TikTok, I feel like I can answer, I can help people. I just make it a video.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could literally just create like a video for it. Yeah, you could like
Mm-hmm.
literally reply, be like, hey, thanks for this great question. Like this actually, I'm gonna like maybe make a video about this in the future or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then for your YouTube, what are you thinking for your YouTube? Like, do you have some content you're thinking there for like longer videos and stuff?
Yeah, I created like I have 2 videos I'm gonna post today. One type of guided meditation, and then one around like a ritual of like reclaiming your innocence and connecting to your womb. So I feel like a lot of those videos are gonna be kind of um basically a lot of what I talk about TikTok, but obviously it's only a minute, so more in depth, expanded upon those ideas,
Okay.
more detailed.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. So. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I think you definitely got enough to start off with. And then yeah, it'll be exciting just to kind of like see once you get like your first person signed up at the $33 level and everything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
and then you might and again like a $33 level might become a higher level after that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're just kind of like listening to your instincts on this. So I think it's going in the direction it's meant to, and yeah, I'll do what I can just to be able to help kind of like create clarity and help you with steering it as well. So yeah, cool. All right, is there any other questions at the moment? Like how do you feel about things?
I feel good.
Okay, good. That's the most important thing.
Thank
So
you.
no problem. Cool. Okay, so we'll talk more, and yeah, maybe in the next day or two we can set up that Discord server.
Okay.
And what you may want to do, this is a side note, for your community, just be able to create a little bit more of an identity. You may want to create a term, like a name for people in your community. Um,
Okay.
so like obviously your Patreon would still be, with your Patreon, so this is another thing, your Patreon, you could either name it after your name or you could name it after like your title, which would be like Heart Logic. Like,
Yeah, I kind of have been trying to keep everything just like the Heart
yeah,
Logic just for consistency.
yep, yeah. No,
It's really good.
yeah, no, I agree. If you're set on using that, that would be a good idea. The only reason to just use your personal name on the Patreon is if in the future
Mhm.
you foresee creating like additional projects underneath your title, underneath your name.
Mhm.
But yeah, if you're feeling good about that, then yeah, definitely keep that as like a consistent URL between all social media platforms. And then
Mhm.
yeah, and then like as like a title for your community members, yeah, like something kind of
Yeah.
fun. So um like I'm trying to think. I mean, like you could literally call them like alchemists, but that's I mean
That's cute.
you literally just could say that. I'd be like, come on, like alchemists, hey alchemists,
Yeah, and
sort of
creating
thing.
cute little different names for like the tiers and stuff too.
Yeah, you could do that. I didn't really create specific different cute names for my tiers, but
I
you
want
could you could do
to.
that. You could do that. Yeah, for like my crystal alchemist and my like like
Mhm.
my you can name them after crystals or something. I don't know. You can do whatever you want. So yeah,
Mhm.
name them after like elements or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? But
Mhm.
yeah, that would be a little place to get a little bit creative and cute with it as well. So okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that covers enough. So
Mhm.
that's good. And then yeah, and then we'll just touch base on anything else after that. So cool. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right. Well, thanks, Ashley. Appreciate you
Thanks so much.
rocking it. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. And yeah, if you're jumping out now, that's fine. We'll just stick around here and see if anybody else needs any questions. But either way, you're welcome to hang out. So, all right, are you heading out then, Ashley? Do you think? You
Yeah.
got stuff to do? Okay, cool.
Do some work. Okay.
That's right. Okay, good. All right, I'll talk to you later then. Okay, see you later. Bye. Cool. All right. Yo, Chris, how's it going, dude? You can jump in by all means. And Carly, Defkin, you guys are welcome to jump in at any point.
Oh, sorry, I just thought something was coming up behind me. I thought someone was pulling into my driveway. But yeah, hey, what's up? How are you?
Good, man. Good, man. Keeping busy. We got about 20 minutes left in the meeting and stuff like that. Is there anything you wanted to go over in particular?
Yeah, I don't have like way too much like to discuss. So like 20 minutes is like more than fine, and I definitely won't even use that much of like the time and stuff like that. So basically, like what I'm like working on right now. I mean, so I came up with the topic for the I find it just always so interesting, like, you know, how it's like the topic will always just kind of like arise, whether it's kind of like within my personal life or whether it's just through like, you know, like I just like joined like a Zoom chat this morning with my friend Brendan, who was my other friend Brendan, who was you know, like hosting this like just meeting for like creators this morning and stuff. And like, you know, like what kind of came up as one of like the main questions within that was just kind of like, you know, like what are the, you know, main things that you do, like, you know, to like raise your vibration or, you know, to kind of like keep, like to maintain your vibration and keep it high. So like the topic that I came up with for the next one is going to be like, to me, self-care practices and like cultivating, maintaining and sustaining optimal health, balance and harmony. Like that's what I came up for, like with for the name of it and like kind of like the subheading topic, because yeah, like I think that and yeah, like kind of, I guess like what goes along with that is, I guess, just like what came up for a lot of people was just like, you know, sharing their different like, you know, self-care routines and different things that they do, you know, to kind of like keep their vibration high and stuff. And yeah, I just think that it's a good topic to talk about. So yeah, like today I'm basically like working on just I'm gonna like work on just posting the last 2 conscious conversation videos and stuff. And I think that like right now I'm kind of like finding myself like in that stage where it's just kind of like, you know, I was in this push to kind of get like so much stuff out there and stuff, and now it's really just about like being able to organize it more. Like, you know, like just like the conversation that, you know, you're having, like that you were just having, like, you know, like with Ashley, like it's like, it's kind of like, you know, like I see like, you know, like how she's just like definitely more like established in a lot of ways. And, you know, it's kind of like, I've been kind of like working on the fly in a lot of ways and trying to just like, you know, get stuff out there. But it's like, in the same time, it's not just like, you know, without any kind of structure and, you know, without any kind of thinking of, you know, how it's going to develop, but it's just kind of like, in terms of like really like getting things together and being able to, yeah, not just on the level of like, you know, putting the stuff out there in an organized way, but, you know, really just organizing my life so that it can even like, you know, hold all of that and stuff. And just like, you know, really needing to kind of, you know, as you were like talking about with like Ashley just earlier about how like, you know, like scheduling like a certain time for doing like your lives, like, you know, it's like scheduling like a certain time to actually like, you know, do like have like a work period, you know, like we're doing this like here today, but it's like, you know, yeah, I've been like kind of devoting different days to that and stuff, but it's like sometimes I just feel like I definitely spend like a lot more time than I need to, like in big chunks instead of like breaking it down. So I don't know. I guess like me like coming on here to talk isn't so much like, I guess like it's kind of just like wanting to share some of this stuff and where I'm at with you so that you can kind of reflect off of it. It's not very like specific questions as to like, what do I do like, you know what I mean? Like what like exactly do I do? So yeah, I just kind of wanted to share kind of like how I'm feeling and like where I'm at kind of in this process and stuff. So
that's good, man. Did side question, did you get a new phone yet?
No.
Working on that? Is that something on the pipeline? Is that...
Yeah, like it's definitely something on the pipeline. Yeah, it's like, well, the thing that, so like the so like, yeah, like that, the thing that's been hard with all of that is just kind of like really like kind of hitting rock bottom in terms of money, and then like, you know, like now like basically just having like $100, and like I'm actually going to the bank today to like literally go like to deposit my check like for that. And it's like, yeah, like I don't even like need to be opening up and sharing so much about the financial situation, but it's important. And I don't know, I guess it's kind of just a matter of like also being able to like balance like what kind of things that like I'm putting my money towards and stuff like that. And it's not like I'm like wastefully kind of like spending it anymore and stuff, but it's really just being able to like yeah, like, you know, just like budget and like allocate my resources in the best way. So like like that including time and everything too. Like I think that that's kind of what I'm like feeling and have been running into recently is, yeah, like, cause it's like, I want to do so many things and it's being able to prioritize like what things are actually the most important. Cause, you know, one of the things too is like my friend, my friend Jacinda, you know, invited me like a couple of weeks ago now. And it was like, you know, it's been a while now and I want to respond to her like today that I would be able to join. Like she like invited me to be a part of this like abundance loom thing that she's doing, but it's not just one of those things. Like, you know, I'm sure, but yeah, like, you know, like it's like within like a group of other conscious like people in like a conscious community. So it's like, you know, one of those things where I feel like all that was coming up and it was just like all at once and a bunch of people were just joining them and it kind of like wasn't the right intention behind it. But it's like, you know, if it's really built like around really trying to help people, I think it can be really helpful and beneficial. So I'm like trying to join that too. And I guess I'm just kind of trying to like figure out whether or not that could be like a good use of like putting my resources to that. And I think I'm gonna like wait till Friday to actually do that because like I only have like the amount that I would need to even put in for that. So like right now, so yeah, like I think I'll have enough to be able to invest in that kind of this Friday to kind of do that, to be able to cultivate more abundance going forward. And I guess like just also in terms of like allocating my time and resources into doing things, like, you know, I kind of like shared that I was going to be offering tarot readings like briefly in one of my last posts, but it wasn't really highlighted. You know, like something that I'm going to be working on. I mean, if I have time at some point today, then I'm going to do it. But like kind of priority is like getting the conscious conversation stuff together so I can get that kind of information out there. But another one of the things that I'm really trying to do and get out there is, you know, being able to like, you know, share with people that I am offering tarot readings and stuff. And I'm actually going to be able to make a good amount, I think, through this Thursday. I'm like attending this Unity gathering where it's like it's like this camp out where I'm gonna be like doing a what is it? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I'm basically gonna be doing like a short little talk like about demystifying tarot and just kind of, you know, how there's always like all these like, you know, fears and different things like, you know, surrounding it. So I'm gonna give like a talk about that as well as like, you know, open up and like offer readings to people. So I'm just kind of like gearing up for that and also like, you know, creating more of this balance and like structure in my own life and like, you know, like, yeah, so I can mirror that like within, so it's just all about kind of like being able to come into like being able to structure these things better and stuff. And I think that like that's kind of what my focus is for today. So
cool man. Oh, that's good to hear, dude. Yeah, like and it's good that like you got some plans on the horizon and stuff like that. I know we've kind of like talked about this before, but in terms of like being able to, because you're already like building community and stuff like that, so it's like how do you kind of transform that into what could potentially be like, again, like regenerative revenue for you? So if that is like a Patreon or something, because I mean, like you've been having people, they've been doing like the one-off payments for the conscious conversations and stuff like that, and like so that's one thing. But yeah, I mean, like, do you feel like eventually like creating a Patreon is something that you want to be able to do for yourself now that you're kind of starting to build a community around what you're doing?
Yeah, I definitely do want to do that. And I've been thinking about that like more and more. And it keeps like popping up, to be honest, on like Instagram too. It's like all the ads for Patreon. It's like, hey, like it's like you need to get Patreon. And it's just like, okay. Like,
that's funny. I don't get ads for Patreon on mine, maybe because I already have it. So I don't know. Yeah, that's cool though.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely interested in doing that at some point. And yeah, I guess this just kind of like getting more clear about like, yeah, like what it is that I would really be offering through that. Like, and in terms of the yeah, like, you know, I thought about doing something, you know, like with a kind of like, you know, like if you do like subscribe to the Patreon, like at some level, you know, then you get like, you know, like a tarot reading like included with that, like as well as like, you know, having access potentially like, you know, to the conscious conversations, like, you know, but that's the thing, like right now it's just open to basically being like free and stuff like that. So I guess I was kind of just trying to figure out, you know, whether or not I could, you know, adjust like the pricing of that. And yeah, like I feel like just like what I really like appreciate about like my connection that I have like with you like the most like is like, you know, your ability to you know, just be very organized and, you know, to be able to like, you know, ask for what you want and stuff like that. And, you know, like just kind of like being able to kind of do that and just having like that structure in place, like that's something I really like value and you know, honor about you, because it's just like, you know, something that I really struggle with is just being able to like, you know, ask for what like, you know, the energetic exchange that like, you know, I actually need to support myself, because like a lot of times I really just want to give And, you know, like, I think we all do, but, you know, it's just being able to, you know, then like give to ourselves, like, you know, like what's needed. So, like, I guess then, yeah, that's the thing too. Like, I know that you were telling me in this last one too, and you can see that it's come up multiple times, but yeah, just in terms of even like, you know, like what I'm charging for the tarot readings and stuff, because I kind of like adjusted that, but then it was like, you know, like that's the thing, I was like waiting to kind of make like an official post about it to like really kind of get like the actual pricing that I'm gonna like do for that, because like what I find that's hard and difficult for me though is just that it's like, you know, because some people limit it to like a time frame, and it's like, you know, like for like hour-long readings, but a lot of times like mine end up going longer than that, and you know, like I'm like, oh, and I'm okay with that, but it's like I don't know if I should advertise it as like like you know, advertise and say like that it's going to be in terms of like this time frame, or if I should really just like, you know, advertise like, you know, like that it's like a reading and not even really mention like how long like it necessarily is, or even or just like, yeah, and kind of being able to kind of like say what the value of it is that I'm actually providing, you know, because I feel like it's like I want it to stand out from just being like a regular tarot reading. I mean, I feel like I can describe like what it is that I do, like that I feel like is kind of like reading off of, you know, like the people's energy and just kind of like, you know, integrating a lot of different elements into it that's like outside of just like and also like talking about the idea that it's like I'm not like predicting your future, you know, but it's like I'm really just like, you know, using this as a system of reflection, you know, like that I'm looking at, and you know, like ultimately you're the one giving yourself the reading, you know, like you're the one who's basically like taking in what it is that resonates with you and stuff like that. So I guess like, you know, I can definitely word that and, you know, get it across there what it is that I want to be offering. And yeah, I guess it's just kind of in terms of, yeah, like being able to come up with like a good price point and being able to kind of like, you know, have it, like you were saying, perhaps be like a sliding scale. But yeah, I guess I'm just trying to like figure out like how I can kind of like tell people what it is that they are going to be receiving from the reading. And I guess that's the most important part, is that I'm just telling people like what kind of value it is that they're getting out of it, and then being able to ask for what that is.
Yeah, one thing that would be helpful with that would be even talking to people that you've already done readings with and getting some like written testimonials from them. And then you can like have that and like share it to your stories in Instagram, and then create like a separate highlight for those testimonials. And then that way, so, you know, like you can always direct people to that. You can be like, check out the testimonials and my highlights to get a better understanding of like what you would expect to get out of it. So that could be something just doing, because you've already done enough readings with people, just be able to reach out and just be like, hey, I'm putting together like a little, you know, media package and stuff like that. Can you write me like a 2 to 3 sentence testimonial?
Yeah, like
what it was and what you got out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's actually like really awesome that you like mentioned that specifically, just about the Instagram highlights, because it's funny, I actually like looked in those in my Instagram highlights this morning, and I was just like wow, these are so old. Yeah, I was just like these posts that I have in here are just so old, and it's not that they're not like cool, but you know, it's like I really just want to find a way to like, you know, like better organize it and make it be like more like, you know, like this is what I'm offering, you know, like this is who I am, versus just kind of like random stuff. Like
you should almost consider basically like just kind of like cleaning the slate on your highlights to just keep it really simple, just for what you want type thing. And even within that, you could have one of your highlights literally as like how to book a reading or something like that. So
yeah, like I actually already, I have you know, Christina, like, you know, like Morphic, like I had her already write like me a testimonial on the first reading that I gave to her, so I have hers already. And then I didn't get one from the other reading that I did. Yeah, like I really haven't done too many yet, but like, you know, just being able to like get that for like the future ones. Yeah, like I'll definitely make sure that I'm like continuing to ask that and stuff. And I think that, you know, like that's the thing. So I haven't really been like putting myself out there for the readings, because I've been so busy with other stuff. So I haven't been like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like hit me up for a tarot reading. I've been kind of like really busy with a bunch of stuff. So like I've been kind of waiting to really get that out there. But,
yeah. And one thing you might want to consider, and I think I might have mentioned this before, is where like with the tarot, like what's more valuable to you, like having someone sign up for a tarot and like pay on the spot a one fee, or if you could have those people like signing up to your Patreon, and then you're starting to build like more of the Patreon over time. So that could be an option where, again, you know, like your flat sliding scale is between like, you know, $20 and $40 per session or something like that. Or if they sign up at like $10 or $11 or $15 a month, then they can join the Patreon plus get like the additional, you know, access to the conscious conversations. Or again, you know, like even if it might make sense for you, because again, like I think it will take a little bit of time to just kind of decide like how much of a role do you want to play in being able to structure a community. Right now, it's a little bit, it's like you guys get together with your Zooms and stuff like that, but can there be like a central place? Could that be a Discord server? What would that look like? And again, I think if you create that space will also increase value for like your private community if that's something that you're feeling called to build. Because I do think, again, like taking the steps towards building the regenerative income, if you can take that same energy that you're putting towards the individual payments and stuff like that and start building it towards like regenerative income, that's going to be more worthwhile for you in the longer run. But it really just kind of depends on where you're at, because sometimes you may just want like that like upright, upfront payment in the moment type thing. So
I think that definitely like I think that with what you're saying too, like about like the Patreon and stuff, like like I think that like comes with being able to have a more inclusive view of like like what role I want to play, like like and what roles I want to like play, like because that like basically like gives like people the idea of why they would want to join the Patreon. It's like, oh, I'm like being able to get this and this, and it's like kind of just being able to kind of like build up what it is that I actually really want to be able to offer to people and stuff. So it's like I already have some ideas of that. Like I've talked to even like Rachel about like like me and her doing some kind of like like group kind of tarot reading like thing online too, or something like that. So like like we were definitely interested in doing that kind of group reading kind of session, like like whether that be live in some way or something. So like that could definitely be like a part of it, as well as like just in addition to like the tarot like and stuff like that, like, just being able to do like like personal like one-on-one kind of like like guidance sessions or something like that too. Like that can also be like something as a part of it. But I guess just like being able to get more clear about like what it is that I really want to offer to people.
And again, I know I mentioned this before, but I think it would be great if you can, maybe start like expanding your network onto TikTok once you have the ability to do so. Because right now, like obviously, like a lot of the people that you're talking to on Instagram are kind of people that are already following you, but like are you reaching new people, and sometimes that's hard to do. That's hard to do on Instagram, whereas like with TikTok, I think you'll have a much bigger opportunity just to be able to like really introduce yourself for the first time to new people. And I think you would do great on TikTok as well.
I really want to get TikTok. Like I've been like wanting to, and it's not that I don't like. It's just kind of like really like I really want my own device to be able to do that. It's honestly so frustrating whenever I'm posting anything now on Instagram, because it's like I need to like minimize the size of it because I'm doing it on my iPad, and sometimes it like cuts off the words of what I'm trying to post, and it's like it's so frustrating.
Well, hopefully you can get something soon, or again, if like any of the service providers has like a special plan on getting an iPhone or something, or
it's really crazy though, honestly, though, that like I feel like I hit this point though, and it's like pushed me though to like having to offer stuff to other people, like, to like to doing these services. So like Spirit was just kind of like, all right, like we're gonna take away everything from you, and now you're gonna need to like build all this stuff up so you can support yourself. And I'm like, all right.
No, it's good resilience training. So cool, man. Well, just moving into the final parts of the meeting and stuff like that, you kind of got an idea on what your next steps are, or like how you're feeling about things? Anything else I can give you feedback with, let me know.
I mean, like I really like am grateful for the oh wait.
Go ahead, you can read that.
If you want, I could help you with the phone department service provider, not so much, but I've got a active, it's still in really good condition. Possibly, David. I mean, I'll definitely reach out to you about that, because I mean that would even work like if I would just have something that's even not like being able to like be on service, like but just being on like Wi-Fi or something like that, that's like a good camera and stuff. So that would, I'll definitely reach out to you about that, David, like separately. I'll contact you, but thanks so much for extending that.
Let's definitely get on Discord, just confirm. Kristen's brother, so
okay.
Which is awesome. I love the fact that like family members are signed up to the Patreon. That's so cool. But I think that could be a great thing where it's like at least I will just give you the tools you need without having to like get like a whole brand new thing. Plus yeah, you're right. You could literally just film anything you want and then bring it back and upload from the Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
yeah, that might be perfect for you. So David, thank you for mentioning that. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and again though, yeah, like thank you for like just kind of giving me some like great feedback and stuff like that. I know I didn't have so many specific questions this time, but I think some things came up. I think some things came up though, just to give me like some more kind of clarity on like how I can kind of be. Yeah, because that's the thing. I guess a lot of the questions I've had have just been kind of like they're more of these very broad questions that kind of like feed into these more specific things that I'm doing. Like it's being able to kind of like zoom out and being able to see kind of like what it is that we're zooming out right now on Zoom. Yeah. But yeah, like being able to see things like more clearly so I can like kind of take those active steps forward. So yeah, like I think that like definitely you gave me some good like kind of perspectives on what I could be doing going forward, and I appreciate your helpful feedback.
No problem. Yeah. Like I think it will take a little bit more time just kind of for you to feel things out in terms of like what you want your community to look like and what you want your role to be within it. And then just like how to be able to create that digital space. Because again, like that's where, and you heard me mention this to Ashley and stuff like that, like maybe just like create a Discord server and then just kind of like start playing with that and see how that feels. And that might be something to kind of start organizing. And I know we had mentioned that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that could be a way just to kind of like start bringing some people together. And like, yeah, like if it's total, like if it's like similar to what we got, like that's totally fine, man. Like don't worry about kind of mimicking anything that we got.
Oh yeah.
As long as it's like helping people, that's what's important. So that's totally cool, man. So
yeah, I think it's like I just wanted to say too, like just like to reflect upon like yeah, like just like the whole aspect of like like so many people like really like coming together and like like us all just kind of like being able to bring that community together. Like literally like my friend Melanie, like like it's like through me, like I feel like posting like all about like the synergy circle discussions and stuff. Like I think that's like what caused her to join that one time. And then yeah, like so then it was just like like then she joined like as like part of like the group and everything. So yeah, like it's so cool just to be kind of like like keeping these people within my community and within that like just kind of like joining and being a part of your thing. And it's like and then we're all together like
it's really cool, man. Yeah, like victory is a shared success. So like as long as like and that's again like what we're doing here is we're trying to be able to like it's like this is a very
like we're like converging. It's like the harmonic convergence. It really is.
Yeah, and basically like one thing to kind of like keep in mind is like when you kind of like really sit with that idea of like, okay, like there is a reality where I am like fully supported in doing this work. What does that look like, right? And once you start kind of like opening yourself up to that question, then the universe will start kind of bringing it back to you. And then again, obviously we can figure out all the details and stuff like that too. But yeah, no, absolutely, man. Like, I mean, the more people that we can have just like helping people out, like that's the real goal, right? Like the getting the financial support is important just so that we can keep doing like the ongoing impact and like that is what we're celebrating. So
yeah, and it's like I've just been like like I think that part of what the conscious discussion like is about tomorrow is like how we can continue really to be like like these like light workers and these shifters, and it's like like just by like really paying attention to like the importance of our vibration, realizing that if we're gonna like send that vibration out to the planet and stuff like that, like we need to be like doing that inner work and stuff like that to kind of like keep all of that up. So like yeah, I've definitely been kind of reflecting on the importance of that, and it's just like crazy because I feel like I've been coming into a lot of this stuff so quickly that's kind of like any of those old patterns that just kind of like aren't working or just kind of like like this is affecting you and you need to get rid of doing this like
yeah no, I hear you, man. Yeah, well I would suggest like maybe even this week maybe set some time aside to like literally set up your Patreon, like just kind of like start creating the template, see what that feels like, just to kind of have it in front of you and be like, oh shit, like because again you could literally keep it simple and then just kind of like start putting the word out there, and obviously you've got like your people who are already familiar with what you're doing, and then again kind of like figure out like additional rewards and membership, but I think just keeping it simple would be good. And then again like even just creating a Discord server for yourself this week, and what would that look like and what would that feel like. And I think if you're moving towards that will start creating a little bit more infrastructure, and then from there start focusing more on just like the outreach and everything like that. So
yeah, I think like thank you again for the support and everything. Like yeah, I'm gonna move forward with that, and definitely continue just to do some of this work that I have set up for myself today. So thank you so much again.
No problem,
really appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, we'll wrap it up here in a minute. Carly, David, thanks for jumping in. Carly, if you wanted to, you can either just type in the chat. Let us know if there's anything that you had any quick questions or feedback about. You're more than welcome. And reminder, this is still recording right now, so I think I'm just going to upload this afterwards. So, but yeah, Carly, if you want, you can just type in the chat. That's fine. But we'll wrap it up in a minute. So that's fine.
All right, I'm probably gonna head out now though, because I just need to go to the bank and do some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
thanks again for having me.
We'll wrap it up now then. So, all right. Okay. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching. Okay. Wave goodbye, Chris. And bye.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Much love.